Hey everybody, I'm just following Sickly Wizard's tutorials here. They're awesome tutorials and they're for making low poly PS1S graphics. I'm doing his seamless texture tutorial. And sorry if my voice is cracking, I've done this video like 3 times. I'm not very well prepared, but this is a rough video because I'm in the middle of following the tutorial, but I wanted to share part of my process because he's doing some low-res textures, which I am doing some low-res textures, and I'm not very happy with the way they look, so I decided to import them into Inkscape first. And I think they're going to turn out a lot better, so that's what I want to share with you is my little hang-ups I'm having doing that, just so you don't have to struggle if you decide to do the same. And so all I'm doing is very straightforward. You can guess the main part is just grabbing my texture from Google or wherever, doing the seamless texture tutorial according to Sickly Wizard, but I'm not scaling anything down. These are like 300 to 200 pixels wide, which is way too big. I'm going to scale them down to these smaller 64 pixels, which is even double what Sickly Wizard was recommending. But I'm going to see how that turns out. So I got my textures here, and I vectorized them. And that's just with just the trace, nothing special there. The settings go is it's not going to come up with these. It's going to give you like a single scan. So when you do trace bitmap, do multiple scans, do it by color, and be sure to stack them. Otherwise, they're going to be like shaped side by side, and you're going to be able to see through the cracks of them. And I'm doing about 6 scans. That's been working great. I upped these to 8 scans, which is effectively 8 colors for the moss, just because it gave me some better contrast. And you want to pay attention to the optimize too, because that's what's slowing down my laptop so much now. I'm not very well optimized, but the more you optimize it, the less sharp edges you're going to have, so you're going to lose some detail. So I found my balance I'm pretty happy with. This big rock face here I did with these settings, and it's not quite dark enough to what I want. In fact, there's my finished one. The small one's already been finished, and I'm done with it, but I wanted to show you that you can still edit after scaling to vector. Like, I don't want to add more scans, because that's just more shapes and computer resources that way. But I can still ungroup it. It's not just a solid piece, it's going to be lots of little vectors in there, and I'm going to ungroup it. I don't know if Inkscape's going to make my video stutter or not. I think it's been okay. But I'm going to select the color I want. It's going to show me if I actually look at my colors. Yeah, the dark one. I guess I can just drag it off too. Luckily it's the layer on top so I can grab it easily. And so I just want that to be a little bit darker. And that's what I did for the small one. So I'm just going to bump it down to the RGB down to 40, 40, 40. It's all grayscale right now. And now that looks way better, way closer to my original. These things don't even look like vectors to me. It looks amazing. This one obviously is a vector, but that's okay. Like I said, they're getting scaled down even more. But there's still one more thing to clean it up. So I'm going to select my original texture here. I'm going to pay attention to its pixel size. It's 190 by 190. And you'll notice my vector is... Actually, that's alright. It's a little bit bigger. And what's happening for it being bigger is some of these shapes are hanging off the sides because they've been rounded. It's hard to see, but like there's a... Can you see on the grass? Yeah, just a little bit. Like it's just a pixel by a pixel. But that border is gonna show up in my final texture and make a seam, and I don't want that. So I'm hoping I can prevent it by clipping it. So I've made a square here, and I'm going to duplicate that so I have one to work with later. That's my final texture size, but I'm going to do the original texture size of 190 by 190 for this, and If I was editing these bigger ones, I'd use their resolutions, like 379 by 379 for this bigger one, but okay. So doing this one, I'm just going to align them together, just center them in the Align tab, and they're together, and simply go to Object? Yeah, Object, Clip, and Set. And it's been smart about knowing which one I want. So now it's 190 by 190 exactly. And I'm going to scale that down to my final size that I want. 64 by 64. Move this out of the way and put it with my other textures. Zoom in so I can actually snap it properly. Inkscape has terrible snapping abilities for some reason. Alright. Still got a seam. I don't know if that's a problem. It might be. I might be doing this all for naught, but... anyway. So there's my couple of my textures. And I'm going to export them just to see what they look like. 96 DPI is what I want. Height is 64. Pixels 192 should be okay. Go ahead, export that. Let's see how they look in comparison here. It's layers. Put them on desktop. Okay, so there's still a blurry mess, which is to be expected, but there's so much better contrast going on here. These top two of my old ones are actually the same, not the same position, but the same texture from the same source image as the vectors I used. I haven't done the moss one yet. I was just playing around, or not playing around. Now I'm playing around, but used a different one for that one. But yeah, huge contrast difference. So I think these textures are going to look a lot better. I wonder if I can even just let's take a look at how it might look. Are you snapping there? You're not really snapping. Why does snapping now always need to be reset? Snap to edges. Alright, you go there. Now you're snapping. Let's just duplicate. I don't know if there's an easy way to move stuff in GIMP. A precise way. Show me my guides. I set those up. We're going to snap to guides. There. Now I know you're pixel to pixel. Come on. Where is my duplicate? Everything's really small because I was changing my resolution from what I wanted, what I had it earlier. Alright, sorry to trail on, but let's just take a look here and see if I was actually successful, or if I still have seams. Hide guides. Control T, hey? Alright, so my textures are kind of repetitive, but I don't see the seams anywhere. I see the repetition, but I think that looks great. Maybe I should rework it so the shapes aren't so obvious, but the seams are not there. And I'm pretty happy with that. So that's my recommendation if you're doing some low-res pixel art. Just put your high-resolution stuff into Inkscape. You'll have a, non-destructed artwork you can edit and play with, and you'll have these... You'll be able to resize into new sizes in the future if you need them to whatever your project might be. Thanks for watching. I hope that was somewhat helpful.